into your rear end.
I strummed a note with my ass. Did you bring a drink in here?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
I have a little bit of caffeine down here.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, honey. What
tomorrow.
did you bring me?
I didn't bring you a goddamn thing.
And what did you decide when you went to the card shop?
I saw a card for $8 and I picked it up and I walked around with it, actually. And then I was like, I'm not spending $8 on a card for you.
No, I like cards, but
no,
really,
here's
they just
the thing
get in
with
the way.
my mom and cards. She will give me, I think maybe I brought this up before in the pod, but when she gives me a card, I think I have card trauma. When she gives me a card, it's always a like a Hallmark card from the 90s still that she's just hoarded. It's a random card and it's like, my loving daughter, you are the best gift to this universe. And what she does is she writes to Hillary, comma, and then just as if she wrote the poem that is printed on the card and then underlines best daughter universe and then writes love mom at the end. That is, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. You are a writer. She has never once written me a card in okay, this is the thing. When she does write me thoughtful things, it's like
I type them.
Yeah, and it's like it's like printer paper. And it's just like a...
And I sometimes put them in a card.
You know what she also does is when she's mad at me, she also gives me that form. A form. It's like, she's like filling out a form.
Why I'm mad.
Why I'm mad.
Date of incident.
Yeah, literally.
Reconciliation.
Yeah, she needs to mark down the date, the time, and we all know that she's obsessive.
Well, you say I'd give you vintage cards, which I've had forever because I'm a hoarder, which is all true. But remember, I had the perfect card for your husband with the little peanuts motif on it.
When? What are we talking about?
Did you give it to him?
Oh.
This was like a month ago.
Oh, yeah. No, I did give him that. But you didn't know it was perfect till I showed up.
I handed it to you and said...
I write him cards because he appreciates them.
Okay. I guess...
It had Snoopy on it. He loves Snoopy.
I like cards because I've saved several of them through the years.
Yeah, because they're
from
written
other people.
They're written in.
Like, my father gave me a card once, a birthday card that said, "You're the best daughter." And I love that card because guess what? I have a sister.
Speaking of Ryan, if you're listening, which you're not, Kimberly is his girlfriend. Mom did declare, "You are my favorite person in the world" to me recently. That's what she said, and that is verbatim. And I said, "Ma'am, you have a husband and a son." And she said, "Well, I meant right here in close proximity to me right now."
I did say that.
Why did you ask? You said I did say that as if it was a question.
Well, I think somebody listening might think, why would a mother declare one child her favorite?
I actually would like to know that too.
You're my favorite.
Yeah, that's right.
And then if Ryan comes and sits here and talks.
The thing about her saying this, and it's all a joke, but Ryan truly is her favorite.
I think
I can tell.
Mothers have different things they love in their children.
I think moms and sons are weird, and I stand by that.
Yeah, I don't get that, but
do you think I'm graying a lot more than usual right now?
Yeah, like you're in a hurry graying. What do you mean graying?
Look at it. Do you see? I was looking at it in the car while I was driving.
Great. Were you also texting?
No. I said, "Oh, what's that?" No, I was trying to leave, but my mom kept texting me nonstop when I pulled over for coffee, and she's just like yapping, telling me all these things I need to do when I get here, and then I got so overstimulated that I had to go into an antique store. And I had to take a breather at the antique store for a second.
So you had a cigarette?
Yeah, and I got myself this bracelet.
What?
that I'm wearing now has scarabs.
Well, that's pretty.
It's
but-
not gold. It's not real gold.
Of course it's not.
What do you mean, of course it's not? You calling
Because
me...
you can't afford a real gold
She does not know that.
bracelet. Can
No.
we talk about my health for a minute?
Your Reynolds...
Reynolds?
in your feet? They get too chilly. Chilly feet all the time.
It's not called Reynolds.
Renoid.
It's called Reynolds or Reynolds.
I feel like it's definitely not how you're pronouncing it. It's called Reynolds. What happened? When did this voice come on? When did this accent start happening?
Stop it. I do not want to lose control again.
What?
Last few times I've just gotten laughing and it must drive the listeners crazy, all 4 of them.
Aunt Lorna.
Kimberly, thank you.
Also, wait. Can I just divulge for a second?
Divulge?
I don't know why I said that. I just needed to say that, like, if you are a listener of our podcast, I'm so sorry that we haven't been consistent or we haven't put anything out in the past month and a half. My mom's been in Florida and she's finally back, and I said, vacation's over, baby. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
And my life is in shambles. Quite truly in shambles. So we're trying our best, and we're here today to come back. Wait, this is our comeback tour.
Okay.
Should we do that? A comeback tour? You want to talk about your thing so bad that you're not even listening?
I don't want to do a comeback tour. The first tour was tour.
What? Who's calling me right now? Spam?
Spam who?
Spam bot. Canned meat.
What's Okay. This is where people hang up.
This is where people hang up. Okay. Hang up? They're listening on a phone. Like this.
They're crashing the receivers down right now, baby. They've had enough.
Okay. They're listening on a princess phone?
Yeah, they're listening on a princess phone.
Yeah.
So, since I got back from Florida, I had to catch up on my doctor's appointments. And we don't need to talk about my various ailments. And I don't have Reynolds.
You do, though.
I don't have Reynolds.
You do. Renats.
But I had 4 doctor's appointments Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 4.
So 2 for 1.
Yeah.
One day.
And so, I'm
Go
just
by
like-
them. Go
And
tell
they
us
were
one
for-
by one.
They were for 4 different conditions, and I've got more conditions than 4, but they were for 4 different conditions.
For sure.
So one of the doctor's appointments,
First one, second one, third one, or fourth one?
the 4th one,
Ooh. Okay.
I can't divulge it because I'm telling a story about what happened. You know, you read me?
Yeah.
One of them,
I don't.
because I have to wait at almost every single one for like 40 minutes before I even get in there.
Yeah.
I had been to this doctor once before, a few years ago. All right. This doctor is probably in his 60s, a male.
A male?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. So I'm waiting and waiting. I'm sitting on the examining table, waiting for him to come in. I don't get impatient at doctor's appointments when I have
You
to
got
wait.
up on the table all by yourself?
I did. I was proud of myself. They were good.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too.
So I'm just sitting there with my legs dangling off, waiting. And all of a sudden the door opens, and this man, you have to picture it, he's like, I don't know, 6'1", comes through the door, looks at me, doesn't say anything except for this. And he flings his arms wide, both sides, and says, "Ta-da!"
Do you fall off the
No.
table?
And I laughed, of course.
Of course.
So then he goes, "Wait, have I seen you before?"
You said, no, I just appeared.
And I said, "Yeah, about 3 years ago." And he goes, oh, like he was relieved. And then he goes, "Ta-da!" again.
Again, twice was like...
It was like maybe a little overkill.
Yeah, it's like maybe just do the one. That's funny.
Right. So, but he made me laugh
Wait,
right
was
away.
this the doctor?
This was the doctor.
Okay, love that.
He made me laugh right away. And so he came in and he examined me and talked to me. And
Might I ask what kind of doctor is
no,
this?
because I don't want to divulge his identity. I don't want to give any hints.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with him, nothing bad. I just don't want to be going to the doctor and going on a podcast that gets four views and then
Yeah, might get so crazy.
it might just cause a problem.
Yeah.
So he asked me a lot of questions about my current problem, and he examined me in the area of my current problem.
Something much more sinister about you not specifying which problem and where.
And then he says, "You have such and such."
You are withholding a lot of it.
I'm withholding.
Pertinent information. Is that the walking stick that Dad made you?
Yes. Stop it.
Sorry.
So I'm like, "I do?" And he said, "Yes." And I'm like, "Well, what do I do about it?" And he says, "How much coffee do you drink in a day?"
No.
And then I looked at him. I'm processing, like, how do I figure out what I drink for coffee a day to myself? And he says, "Be honest."
He clocked you.
And he says, I said 4. Because I figure it's 4 cups, ultimately.
I think it's like 4 pots.
Yeah. I have 4 pots. And he said, "You need to give up caffeine." And I said, "That's the worst advice I've ever gotten from a doctor."
You can pry this caffeine from my cold, dead Reynolds hands.
He said, "You need to get caffeine and chocolate. Because chocolate has caffeine."
I'm sorry. All this woman does is drink coffee and eat Reese's peanut butter cups.
So I said, "That's the worst advice I've ever gotten for a doctor." And he stands up and says, "I'll be back in a minute." You will not believe what he came back with. Not a cup of coffee.
A Reese's peanut butter cup?
Nope. 5 minutes later, because I had to wait for like 5 minutes, he comes back with his phone and a meme.
Okay.
And the meme, he shows me the meme. Wait a minute, I got to find it. I wrote it down so I could say it. And oh, where the heck did I put it? Oh, yeah. So the meme, I should have pulled up the meme, but I'm not a mean girl. This is the meme.
Yeah.
On a background of a green background, kind of. By replacing your coffee with green tea, you can lose up to 87% of what joy you have in your life.
I was just going to get so annoyed. I'm like, my For You page on TikTok is constantly like, you need to replace your coffee with green tea. I don't like tea.
So he left he went and searched
it?
for his meme.
And then
that
he
had
came
seen.
back
Then he came back.
to show you the meme.
Yep.
And then he left again?
Yep.
I
Go ahead.
just wanted to point out that, like, you said a lot of details about, like, what could be possibly going on with you. Like, you're not allowed to drink caffeine anymore. It kind of makes me be like, ooh, I wonder what that would be associated with.
Drugs.
I mean, caffeine is a drug.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm addicted.
Well, I'm not divulging what the condition is, although it's not a serious one. I just don't think this is a place for my health expose.
This isn't the place. Where's the place?
I have 2 more things to tell you about the doctor.
Okay. The same doctor?
Same doctor. He said this once in the middle of my exam and once at the very end.
Okay.
Exact words.
Yeah.
This has been fun for me.
Now, what was he examining? Top or bottom?
I'm not giving any hints.
Imagine she goes to get a mammogram and the doctor's like, this has been fun for me. Checking for lumps.
He said it twice. That just cracked me
He said
up.
it twice. He was like, wow.
He said it halfway through the exam.
And then he's like, wow, this really
and then
has
like
been fun
20
for
minutes
me.
later. I mean, he diagnosed me in the first 5 minutes. So I'm talking 20 minutes later. He said,
I just gotta know what she's
this
diagnosed
has been fun for me. And
What'd you say? What was your reply?
I chuckled at that one, but I didn't really say anything. I didn't say
What's his age?
Me too.
Older or?
Oh yeah, he's in my age frame. Oh, he's probably actually.
Flirting.
I take that back. He's because I keep forgetting I'm old. He's probably in his 60s.
I keep forgetting I'm old. I keep forgetting you're old too. Actually, I go into a crisis when I remember.
Don't do that now. Keep with it. Okay, I got one more thing to say.
That is not true.
I got one more thing to say about. So I go out to the appointment. I had kind of bonded with the woman when I went in for the appointment because she goes, "You have 2 men," or no, she didn't say men. She said you have 2. She said you have 2 people listed for your emergency contact. You have a Gil and you have a Roland.
Do you want to add context to that? For people listening?
Yeah, my husband's first name is Roland, but he doesn't use that.
He goes by Gil.
He goes by Gil.
Is Gil's middle name?
Yeah, Gilbert.
Roland Gilbert.
So I laughed about that because I couldn't say anything at first. Like, yeah. I don't know where that went. But when I came back out,
You're like,
She
yeah, I
said-
do have 2 men.
she said, does he want to see you again? And I said, he never wants to see me again. Which just made me laugh.
She has been really knocking the last line of an interaction out of the park recently.
Yeah. It's all true. It's all ridiculous.
It's not all true. He did want to see you again. That was the most fun he'd ever had at an appointment.
He didn't say it was the most fun. He said, this has been fun.
Oh, yeah. He's probably had.
He's probably had more
He probably
fun.
had more fun.
But the whole thing cracked me up. It made my day, the whole thing. It was so much fun.
I love
I have
that.
to say. It was just so funny that he got up and left and went and was gone for 5 minutes getting a meme.
I just imagine
Like,
him,
he knew me.
he saved it on Instagram and he's scrolling through his saves to make sure he can find it. Yeah, I love it. Do you think he's brought that meme out to more than one patient?
Yes.
That's his go-to meme. He should print it out.
He should have a poster in his office.
Yeah, print it out.
I should send him a little poster
You should
of it.
frame one. Just
He might misunderstand what I'm up to, though.
what do you mean?
I don't know. All of a sudden, a patient that he said he was having fun with sends him a poster.
You send him a poster and then you write him a card, but it's pre-printed. You just underline and it says, I had fun too with a winky face. This was fun for me too.
And for those of you that want to know, I promptly came home and told the story to Gil. Of course.
Okay. Nobody wanted to know that.
Okay. All right. What about you?
You get nervous that you were flirting with someone and everyone...
Did I get nervous?
Yeah,
that I
just
was
now,
flirting?
and you're like, uh-oh, they're going to think I was flirting. You're always flirting.
Well, not since I turned 71.
That is not true. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Recently?
You're flirting about.
I will give that
Me money.
I have been that I have been a flirt in my life.
Yeah. I'm a flirt.
But, it's time to give it up.
Flirting? Never give it up.
Oh, come on. Ridiculous.
Age is a concept.
Yeah.
Flirting is...
Age is a concept till you look in the mirror.
God, don't I know it? I'm starting to age. I decided I have to grow out my bangs because I'm getting too old to have them.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
My hairdresser, remember?
When you were like 70 years old.
He told me ditch the bangs.
Yeah, he was right to do that. I did have like kind of a jump scare adjustment with your forehead being shown. When your forehead like came out more often, I was a little like, ooh, uh-oh. It was kind of like when Dad shaved his mustache. I wasn't doing well with change, but I didn't say it to you because I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
When Annie had me grow out my bangs when I was like 10 or something.
Yeah.
10 or 12. And somebody, I didn't come up with this term, but somebody said something about you have a high forehead. And
wait, this is how you tell.
I was upset.
You do have it. She does have it.
I'm not kidding you when I say the following. I was thinking like yesterday, maybe I should cut bangs again.
Can I do them live on the pod?
Donna Kelsey has bangs.
Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't say she's someone I would be like, I want to look like Donna Kelsey.
Yeah, but she's nice and pretty.
Oh, she's nice, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well,
and she's like, fine.
Doesn't Taylor Swift have bangs?
Do whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to look like that?
Yeah, I would like to look like that.
I think you do what Diane Keaton does. That's kind of like how you should mimic style and
good luck
face
with that.
and hair. What do you mean good luck with it? You good luck with that. You need to start wearing some hats.
To cover up my high floor.
You have to get really tall hats so it'll all fit in there. You're going to use your microphone now that we're back?
I guess I will. This thing's heavy.
I know. Do we want to tell them what just happened?
You mean speaking of heavy?
Yeah. I just sobbed and we had the most intense conversation mid-podcast. And it recorded the whole thing. You will not be seeing that.
We hope.
Yeah. And I haven't seen my mom in a long time. Well, I saw you a couple days ago, but only very briefly.
Yeah, not in person. We haven't seen each other in the last
And the
5
thing
weeks
about
or so.
seeing your mom, it really brings up a lot of emotions that you've been harboring inside. And at least for me, I just feel like I hadn't cried to my mom in a while, and I had to do it.
So thank you.
You're welcome. You know what? I had to do it, and I had to film it.
Right.
For attention.
It sounds like something I would have done in my 20s.
Yeah, if you had access
If
to
I had access to that whole thing.
Like, oh my God, if you had access to social media, it would have been.
Oh, it would have been all over.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have been canceled.
No, that would not have been
100
good.
times over.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're back and in a better space. I
We
just
are in
needed
a
a
better
good cry.
space.
I needed a good cry. And
It's hard. It's hard to do this together.
sometimes,
Yeah, no, I don't mean all the time, but it's risky and it's hard. And when I say risky,
Yeah.
I mean it's risky on our relationship.
I also think that sometimes you just need to cry it out.
Yeah.
And I think when I'm with my mom, I'm so comfortable being my full self that to a fault where like I'm like, this is triggering me, and then I cry for 20 minutes. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and hopefully one of these days I can go into more detail about what I'm going through right now. But I just needed a good cry with my mom.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that happened while I
In
was
the middle of
recording mid podcast.
lighthearted podcast.
In the middle of a lighthearted podcast. And she's just been gone. We haven't been able to talk as much, and I just really think I needed that. So thank you for
welcome,
listening,
honey.
and I will not be watching that back.
Yeah.
For my own.
We're just hoping it doesn't get accidentally uploaded.
She keeps threatening that.
I know.
It seems like she's like, oops, it got accidentally uploaded. Like she's gonna upload it.
So we've had a couple of times, like a couple of podcasts ago.
Beefs.
Apparently there was a
Podcast beefs.
Yeah, there was a threat.
Oh.
The wrong sound was going on in the background.
It was like I overlaid 2 podcast episodes by accident, and someone DM'd me and was like, hey, just so you know, love the pod, but I did feel like I was on an acid trip. And I was like, what? So thank you to that person, because I don't usually like do like at least a sift through.
Yeah, but that's the problem when you get too complacent, because I remember when we did that one, you said, should we listen to it one more time? And I'm like, no, we didn't have anything to argue about. Or to figure out.
Yeah.
Usually, lots of times when we're doing these podcasts, there's something that is said, or we realize we used somebody's name, we probably shouldn't have used it, or we made a mistake, whatever. We try to go through right after and listen to it and cut, but sometimes we don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah, sometimes we've just
probably today, but
yeah.
then
Well,
again.
oftentimes like today, like I'm only here for less than 24 hours. And so we're trying to like record a podcast, do a TikTok, we have all these things. And fortunately and unfortunately, we have since been reached out to do a couple PR things. And now we're like panicked that we have to do it so well. And we're both a little bit of...
We have assignments, in other words.
We do have assignments, yeah. But... it's all good. It's all good stuff, and it's what we want to be doing, and we're just getting back in the swing of things after taking a little break.
Yes, we are.
So, and it's fun. Please keep giving us stuff. We like it, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about what's upcoming?
Sure.
So we will be staying at the Spruce Point Inn in Booth Bay Harbor in a couple of weeks, and that will be our next episode. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, right. We're gonna.
That'll be our next podcast episode. Will be not live. That's my mom's nightmare. And also after today, where I had a mid-mental breakdown, is now very much her nightmare that I would be live and suddenly crying out of nowhere. Suddenly crying. But yeah, we're gonna record a podcast episode there, and my mom actually came out.
No. That's for another podcast episode.
Huge news, guys. My mom came up with an idea for a new kind of this is where that we're gonna do.
We're gonna experiment with it.
And we'll probably talk about that on our podcast episode, but we're really excited for that. And
did we say that Spruce Point Inn is in Booth Bay Harbor?
I think I did, but
Okay.
maybe not. Yeah, it's in Booth Bay Harbor, and I was telling my therapist this, and she was like, "I just had my bachelorette in Booth Bay Harbor. I wonder if if I stayed where you're going."
I think she'd remember it.
She said she wasn't sure. So I think she probably stayed in. She said I think she stayed in like an Airbnb outside of it, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, did you have a blast? Was it fun?" And she goes, "Nothing's really open there yet." So, that was funny, but I'm excited. I love Booth Bay. And
Yeah, it's a beautiful little town.
so the other thing this was the first time this has happened to us, and I don't know about you, but I felt like a kind of an imposter. Like, so Toad and Co. reached out to us and told us we could pick out some outfits, and we are going to do some This Is Where videos in our new outfits, and we had the best time.
It was fantastic.
We had so much fun. So I think we both got amazing outfits.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
I'm excited to show them to you. I think we'll wait.
Yeah, let's wait.
Because
We're not
we made some.
we're not in the modeling mood.
No, we did do I filmed a montage of my mom trying on her different outfits. And I'm really excited about what you got. I'm actually
Me
trying
too.
to remember. You got that set, but then something
A pair
else.
of pants.
Oh yeah. Two pairs of pants and a shirt. So we're so excited about that. That's like insane to me that they're just like people are reaching out to us to do these things, and we get reached out to sometimes, but often like I think both of us want to make sure it feels authentic to us, and like these two opportunities just felt authentic to us, so it was exciting, and they're both companies we can get behind.
Right.
And
we got reached out to about 6 months, or I guess it was about a year ago, by MTV's Ridiculousness.
oh yeah
And I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Although that could be the name of my memoir.
yeah
But I didn't know what the show was.
yeah
And that seemed exciting. They wanted to use, I think, one of the viral
Yeah.
TikToks that came out first. And so we said, yeah, we're interested, blah, blah, blah. And they wrote back to us and said, basically, they were going to take all rights
yeah
and pay us $200.
yeah it was just not
It was crazy.
And I will thank Reddit for that guidance, because I went on Reddit and I was like to see if other creators have been offered, and almost everyone said it wasn't worth it.
Yeah. And then I read, because I always get in deep, go down the rabbit hole. Then I read that the guy, is he a skateboarder?
Yeah.
That he gets $150,000 an episode.
Oh yeah, it's like you can give us more
And
money.
they're
going to
pay us $200, and they're going to have.
I don't
all
think so,
rights.
honey. I don't think so.
So it wasn't, but ultimately it wasn't even the money. It's like
It's not our audience.
no.
No. I think we like the personal connection and feeling like, I don't know, it's not our kind of humor. Like the person that reached out to us for the Spruce Point Inn was like, I've been following you and I just love history, and they really understood what we were doing.
Right.
And so I think, at least for us, we're not in it to be influencers. So it when it aligns, it feels really good. And Toad & Co. is the place that I've shopped at for a long time, and I know it's a sustainable company, and that's really important to me. And they do a lot of they do their Renew, Toad & Co. Renew, which is like they buy back stuff and resell it, so it's keeping it
great,
circulating, and that's something that's really important to me as someone who mostly shops secondhand or a small designer. So anyways, we had the best time in there, and we want to both thank and apologize to the clerk who was working, the shop girl, because my mom accosted her with words. She accosted her with her mouth. Wait, with her words. So we had the best time. They were actually like a joy. It was so fun. Like, it was very quiet in there, so we got to kind of like film content without feeling like, I feel so weary about filming in public. This is where we're usually in a random spot on the side of the road, so that never feels uncomfortable, really. It just like is funny.
And she always threatens to drive off on me when I'm out there with my cane trying to say something.
It did. She couldn't get in the car when we did a This Is Where a couple days ago, and then I had to turn the car around. It looked like I just left
like she's abandoning me.
I left this old lady on the side of the road with a cane and a microphone
in the rain.
Yeah.
But we digress.
So my mom, who just wants to know everybody's story.
I do. I like people.
Just kept like disappearing from me to go ask questions about like I keep saying clerk, which is such a you
Yeah.
word. The clerk. I just don't know if they want to be like talked about on the pod.
Well, we're halfway through the story. Yeah, I know.
No, but I guess I mean like name. Like I don't.
Yeah,
we don't need to
we
drop
shouldn't
it.
say the names.
Yeah. But they are studying law, which I feel like is okay. We can reach out to them too. Do you not want to say that?
Yeah, that's fine.
They're hoping to become.
I asked them what they if they worked full time. I asked what, and they said they were just finishing up their degree, and part of it is in law.
Yeah.
And so then I said, "Oh, are you going to go to law school?" And they said yes.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the end of that.
So then I walk over and my mom's like, they're going to law school. And starts bragging for them to me, which was great. I loved them so much. They were so sweet. Yeah. And then there was another person that runs the Renew program there who came out and talked to us. It was so great. But we're walking out. We checked out. We've gotten our bags of goods, and we had the best time. We found the perfect outfits, and my mom cannot leave a room without having a one-liner. She has to have this like the final word, the final joke. She can't help it. She has to. It's like there's no Irish goodbye with this lady.
What's an Irish goodbye?
It's when you just go. Like, you just disappear. Like,
no, I can't do that.
You know, the other night
I got to make an entrance and I got to say goodbye.
The other night I was out with a bunch of friends, and one of them, like, we were going to another location, but one of them was leaving, and she goes, "Well, this is where I Irish goodbye." And I was like, I think you just like that's not the point. Like, you just announced it. That's not an Irish. You're like, and then proceeded to talk to someone for about 15 minutes, and we all had to stand and wait. It's like, this is the opposite of what you tried to do. So, anyways, back to the story. Do you want to tell them what you said to this?
Well, we said our goodbyes.
Up and coming lawyer.
And just before I went out the door,
Picture this. Picture this. She's waddling out. It's raining. Her coat's kind of like, her hood's like tucked into her coat for some reason. Like she hasn't properly put her jacket on. And she's slowly waddling out with her cane. But her cane isn't even touching the ground. It's just kind of floating above the floor. And she whips her head around and she says,
"See you in court."
I heard it more as, "See you in court." And I was like, totally forgetting all context that this person is becoming a lawyer. I'm like, "Mom, get out of here." She's already ruining our chance at getting free stuff. See you in court.
Let me just clarify that what I meant was,
and this is
I think I'm just repeating what you said, but I was just being funny because she's becoming a lawyer.
She's becoming a lawyer. I know you were being funny, but the way you abrupt. It was just like so.
I have a tone that I never knew I had. No. I've said that before.
It was so quiet in there, and we're like, "Thank you so." And like this was the tone when we left. It was like, "Thank you so much. This was such a lovely experience. Thank you." And I'm like, "Mom, are you okay? Do you need help out?" "See you in court." "See you in court." This is the clerk. Oh. And then everybody laughed. It was funny.
She didn't get it for like 3 long seconds.
No, but she doesn't even get it. My mom doesn't give it a chance to simmer. She just goes, "It's because she's becoming a lawyer." Like she has to explain the joke. It's because she's becoming a lawyer. Like, yeah, we get that. It was
classic.
It was fantastic.
Classic.
Yeah, it was
classic. If I do say so myself.
It was classic, fantastic.
You gotta, when you go to a place, you got to be contemplating your exit line.
No, that's a good point. It's a good thing. That I think if there's anything to learn from my mom, it's that
you need
the whole night you got to be working on your exit line.
Because you leave them thinking. And you leave them laughing. Leave them thinking, leave them laughing.
You left them confused. and
worried.
maybe scared. Yeah. and maybe regretting reaching out to us at all. Oh, do we want to say that they also were like, oh, so are you the mom? There's this mom on TikTok that like goes around to places and they're like, this is where, and my mom's like, that's me. That's me. Yeah. I can't believe it. Not a humble bone in this lady's body. That's me.
I just don't have a filter.
No. Everybody knows this by now.
Yeah.
If this is the first episode you're listening to, Godspeed.
Yeah.
You probably won't be coming back. oh my
Lord.
God.
Only we could crack up at we. Us.
That's the title of the episode. Wish you saved that for the end. As your one-liner. Do we now need to make that a tradition in the podcast where we have a one-liner that we have to come up with at the end?
I always do. Like, I'm always thinking ahead.
Yeah, that's because you're not present with me here. When I'm telling a story, you're on to your own next story.
This is what we had the fight about before.
Yeah.
That's why we had to take an intermission.
Don't tell them about the fight.
Okay.
It wasn't even really a fight.
No, so she says.
It was a discussion where I discussed a lot.
And I said, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, can you even imagine the stories we're going to have from doing a 2-day trip together?
Oh my gosh.
Where we're getting paid to make videos. We got to think about our outfits. I bought about 15 outfits for I'm literally here for 10 hours.
Yeah, she's got 15 bags and 10 outfits.
I just never, and this isn't even what I wanted to wear. I just wore this because it was comfy for the ride. Ugh, God.
So we're gonna have fun. we always have fun.
Speaking of tone, yeah. So we're gonna have fun. That's what she's like. You better have fun. You better have fun because they're telling us they're paying for us to be here, Hillary. That's her tone, but that's not her meaning. That's not her intention.
Thank you for clarifying.
That's her tone, but not her intention.
I think we've talked about this before on the podcast, but now I know why my students were just scared. Sitting there trembling.
You're like,
yeah. And when they said, more than once when Esponzi, you were yelling at me. You yelled at me. I'm like, I didn't yell at you. I was talking like this. Look up the word definition for yell.
No greater gift to our relationship and probably healing student trauma has been you having a self-realization of how
I've learned a lot.
You're self-perceiving. You know, I'm learning a lot too, and it's not good. And it's not good.
You talking about yourself or
yeah,
about me?
Well, kind of both. Nobody should know this much about their mom.
That's true. That's true.
No, but I like it. Oh, you watched the Cole Escola interview I sent you? So Cole Escola was on CBS Mornings. Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. Sunday morning,
and we're obsessed with Cole because we went to see O'Mary and had the greatest time. I was watching that interview thinking, because Cole was talking about living with their grandmother, and the interviewer asked about, was comedy present in your family? And they were saying that their grandmother was very funny and that, like, their grandmother let them be, like, themselves. And I thought that was really beautiful. And I think it made sense to me that Cole would gravitate towards you because you're that encapsulated. Like, you are just, like, naturally funny in a way that sometimes she doesn't even understand she's funny. Like, she's like, why is this funny? But it's like, look at you. Like, I could watch her eat a bagel and it's funny. And
Whoops. As I accidentally touched the microphone to the tip of my nose.
see? Why am I going on this rant? Why am I talking about this?
I don't know.
I was thinking about Cole Escola a lot. I've just been thinking, oh, this is what I was getting to. So imagine Cole's listening to this.
Yahoo. That's how I'd feel.
You feel, yeah. Yahoo.
I'd feel, yippee! I'd be excited.
Okay. But you do realize you said Yahoo like that? You're like, I'd feel Yahoo. So recently, my mom sends me a voice memo, not a text, voice memo. And here's the thing about my mom. We went to see O'Mary in New York, which you all know about that as well because we tell you everything. There are no secrets here. And my mom and I found out that Cole follows our TikTok account. So that was extra exciting because
Very.
my mom's like, Cole knows who I am and thinks I'm funny. And she won't be quiet about it. So she sends me a voice memo the other day. And I think her parasocial relationship with Cole Escola has escalated because she thinks that I have the authority or like the ability to just be like DMing back and forth with Cole Escola as if they want to be doing that with me. I wish they did, and they can. But she sends me this voice memo the other day. On May 1st, Thursday, May 1st at 3:49 p.m.
Okay.
You like that?
I like that.
Okay.
Precision.
You might want to send this to Cole. Colin, congratulations on your Tony nominations. Period. Clod and I are rooting for you.
The way you punctuate out loud, but also the way you're like, you might want to send this to Cole. Could not have sounded more excited. I died. It was so funny. I was cackling. I was in my office alone. And I'm like, what? I'm like, does she think I can that Cole and I are just texting back and forth? First of all. Second of all, does she know she sent me a voice memo and not a text? I'm not sure she does. You might want to, this is my favorite. You might want to send this to Cole, colon. Anyways, congratulations, Cole, on the Tony nomination.
Yes. It's fantastic. And we are rooting for you.
Yeah, and you deserve it.
You do.
Are incredible.
We love you.
If you see this, we hope you love that little little voice memo from Clod. I mean, this is what I mean. We hope you really love that voice memo from Clod, period. Your tone is not your personality. Your tone is not your personality.
How can there be such a difference between the way I sound and the way I intend to sound?
Has that made you really reflect on every relationship in your life and how people react to you?
It's made me not every
Well,
not
it
everyone,
should.
but sometimes I just realize I've got such a tone.
Tone is everything.
Hillary used to tell me I was rude to the waitresses and had an attitude in the sale in front of the sales clerk, and I'm like, I don't see it. I think of myself.
I don't see it.
I think of myself as a really friendly, caring.
You are. You
empathetic.
are. Here's the thing.
Warm.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Authentic.
Yep.
Person.
Stunning. Yeah. I mean, you are all those things. However,
Yes, I am.
I think especially when I was younger, I got
Here it comes.
and I'm still like so young.
Half my age.
Young. When I was younger, I really like was hyper aware of that because I was working in retail and I was just like all these boomer white women coming in here being rude. So I had this like hyper awareness of like, Mom, you need to be extra nice to everyone.
She gave me more restrictions than I gave her when she was 13 trying to sneak out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you, for some reason, I heard that as me at 13 sneaking out of the house, and I was like, I was practicing my Spice Girls dance routine alone in my bedroom at 13.
Wait, I meant to say, I was talking about you. Did I say I?
Yeah, was I sneaking out at 13?
No, but it was a good line.
I was like, I'm not even trying to act. I don't think I've ever snuck out of the house ever in my life. I was like, she must be talking about herself because
No, are you kidding?
You weren't sneaking out either.
No, I didn't sneak out.
Well,
There was a time a boyfriend came rapping on my window at camp.
rapping on my window. See, I would have had, I think I should have snuck out more.
Yeah.
Should have snuck out more.
I think if you want to say that grammatically correctly.
Snook.
Thank you. I'm glad
I
you
should
knew the
have.
difference.
I should have snuck out more.
I just touched them. My nose and the microphone.
Does it smell good?
What? No, it doesn't smell good.
It doesn't smell like anything. It smells like a lot of bad stories. Oh, man. All right. Well, see you later.
No, wait a minute. You got to get a good ending line.
Oh, I did have one more story that I did tell you earlier, and I regretted it. It actually was probably recorded because it was during my breakdown.
What was the story?
So earlier today, I was driving alone, and I drove by a tangerine skin
Outfit.
What a tangerine outfit. Like the peel of a tangerine on the road, and I was like to myself out loud said, "Well, glad that wasn't a banana peel." Had a
She's
laugh.
cracking herself out.
Had a little laugh to myself, and then it took me forever to find parking at this coffee shop, and I finally park and I open my door. Banana peel. Banana peel right there, ready for me to slip.
Just like when that
Banana peel might have died.
deflated balloon showed up just after we were doing
It's
this whole thing with balloons.
My mom was like, "Can't your ESP be like about lottery numbers or something?" No. Discarded fruit and deflated balloons is all you're getting from me.
I feel like we need one more paragraph.
Discarded fruit,
Deflated balloons.
We need one more paragraph?
Yeah, we need one more paragraph.
Like an ending? We need to end this?
Well, we need to add a little more information.
We laughed, we cried.
We are on Substack.
We are on Substack.
We published about 6 articles or newsletters or whatever you want to call
You've
them.
essentially published.
She did one, but it had virgin in the title. So it was a little scary.
Scary little virgin.
Um,
Scary little virgin.
She did one. I've done 5, and I just found out today I need to write one for tomorrow by tomorrow at midnight.
I can write it.
No, you don't have time.
I told my mom this recently that I'm in this like very weird point in my life where I feel very introspective. And so when I go to write, it's like very introspective versus my mom right now is in a very like funny story.
Retrospective.
Yeah, retrospective. And it's like I keep being like, wow, I really want to write about this deep thing. And it's like, that's not what our Substack is. I mean, it can be and it can lean that way, but I think I'm just like needing to write in my own little diary right now. But I did think of a funny thing to write about. And you know what I also think? That I want to have Court come on as a guest writer.
Her
because
cousin.
she's an incredible writer. And I think her and I, we gotta get her. Oh my God. She and I, we actually need to get her on the podcast so we have diary entries on the same days where we're writing right next to each other, and I think it would be really fun to
We
have a
definitely
back and
have to
forth.
do that.
So maybe we can plan that for the one after Booth Bay. But wow, it feels good to be back on the podcast.
It does.
It
So
does.
all I want to tell people is,
Wow,
if
it
you're
feels
on,
good to be back.
if you're on Substack already, you know how to do that. Just put in My Mother's Diaries, and we'll come up. You do not have to pay anything. We do have a paid subscriber option, but you can just click on free when you get in there, and you can get access to most of our pieces. Not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah.
And
We do one paid a month
right.
for the paid subscribers. So if you do want to support us, that is truly the only way we're making money. I mean, we're also getting free things, so
Yeah, we're doing okay.
we're doing okay. But we do really appreciate the people who
Right. Plus, I think
we don't expect it, but we're just like very appreciative to the people who trust us to
did support our art.
Yeah, because we do put a lot of work into it.
We do. So, yeah, this was great.
Yeah, and Dead Gowns is on tour right now too, so you can catch them. You should go look at their Instagram where they're
That's fabulous. Are they going around the world?
around the world.
Yeah. Or are they just in the
By boat. They're around the country. They're they're bopping around. They're bopping around town. I think a lot of New England now. They have been like out west. But yeah, go check them out, and as always they thank you to Dead Gowns for our intro. And Lost and Found Market. There's one coming up in a couple of weeks. I never remember the date like I should, so stay tuned, sisters. I'm doing another photo booth there. I'm currently working on a piece for that will be funny, or it's gonna just look really cool.
And
I haven't decided if it's gonna be funny or look really
when you
cool.
say you're working on a piece, you mean a background art piece?
Yes, an art
Okay.
piece for
I
the.
thought you meant you were writing about that for Substack.
No. May 25th. The ticketed entry, just so everyone knows, will be 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then from 3 to 6 will be anyone's welcome. And
They changed those hours.
yeah.
How much are the
They did
tickets?
2 tiers for tickets. I believe they're... I don't know. I should know that.
Well, that's probably good they're doing that. They have been...
Oh, you can buy them at the door, but so 11 to 1 will be $10 and 1 to 3 will be $8. That's like the second round of people.
Oh, so they're charging
They're
for
tiers.
anybody that comes in.
Yes. No, 3 to 8 or 3 to 6 is free entry.
Okay.
So the early bird tickets are because it got so big. And
Right.
it's a good problem to have, and I think paying to support this event happening is a good thing if you can afford it and are able to come early. Then I highly recommend it because it's a better shopping experience and you get to get parking. And I think this is hopefully to alleviate some of the traffic because it's gotten so big that it needs that space, and I think the allotted times will allow for a more fun shopping experience. I haven't decided yet if I'm doing digital portraits again or if I'm going to bring my medium format camera and do some more like very slow, steady portraits, which I think could be really fun.
Yeah, something different for sure.
Anyways, thank you, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks on our pod, at least in Booth Bay Harbor at Spruce Point Inn.
Yes,
It'll be
we
amazing. And we'll see you sooner on TikTok and definitely sooner on Substack.
Thank you.
Bye.